We've been looking at plot and setting as part of short story. I want now to go on to Mark Twain, The Californian's Tale, and let's examine especially setting and plot in his work. Of course, you may be a little bit familiar with Mark Twain. He's one of our very favorite American writers. He was born in 1835 and died in 1910. Mark was born in the center of the country near Hannibal, Missouri, and he was born not as Mark Twain but as Samuel Langhorne Clemens. He picked up the Mark Twain pen name that had to do with the river because he loved the river so much, had a real fondness for that. When he was still a young boy, he apprenticed to a printer. His father died, and it necessitated the family having to help out, the children helping out. So he worked for his brother for a time and began writing humorous articles. Kind of got his writing start at that point. Later on, he became a riverboat pilot on the Mississippi, which took a lot of time and effort and skill. And a lot of his stories came from that experience, including Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. After this experience of being on the river, he went out west and did some prospecting for gold. He had a lot of adventures in his life. And the story that we're going to be reading, The Californian's Tale, deals with that part of his experiences. He's famous for writing, but also for lecturing. Was a very famous speaker and traveled throughout the country writing and speaking. Before we start reading The Californian's Tale, though, I want to give you just a heads up on some of the vocabulary that you'll be seeing. First of all, predecessors. This is a noun, and it means those who came before. In the story, you'll see it here. Now and then, half an hour apart, one came across solitary log cabins of the earliest mining days, built by the first gold miners, the predecessors of the cottage builders, the ones who came before the cottage builders. You'll be seeing solace, a noun which means comfort, relief, consolation. I could not have believed that a rag carpet could feast me so, and so content me, or that there could be such solace to the soul in wallpaper and framed lithographs. He's coming into civilization now, finding a lot of comfort and relief in these little touches in the cottage. Furtive. This is a really good word. Maybe one that you'll adopt also in your own writing. It's an adjective, and it means sly, stealthy, concealed. I knew it perfectly, and I knew he was trying to help me by furtive indications with his eyes. So I tried hard to get on the right track, being eager to gratify him. This man's giving him signals with furtive looks, just sly, quick looks out of the corner of his eye, and Mark Twain is trying to pick up on those cues. Stealthy, kind of concealed. Sedate, an adjective meaning calm, dignified, unrestrained. Then he went on and read the bulk of it. We're talking about a letter now. A loving, sedate, and altogether charming and gracious piece of handiwork. This is the kind of a writer that she was, loving, dignified, calm, unrestrained. And boding, a noun, it means warning, concern, especially of pending harm or of pending evil. Charlie fetched out one hearty speech after another, and did his best to drive away his friend's bodings and apprehensions. Concerns, especially of harm. Notice here we have a synonym with it so that it helps us define that word, doesn't it? All right, work with this vocabulary now before we read the story.